as I said, I suppose one of the most important areas to just talk about for a moment is, what does this mean for the rest of our season? Well, I mean, there are no Premier League games until Saturday. Obviously, we've just had the FA Cup. We're not in it anymore. So, unbelievable, really. But, that should be the headline. We are currently in 7th place. We are 3 points off Liverpool, and we've got Arsenal and Man City to come. Chelsea are behind us, but look like they've sorted themselves out, and they've got a better squad than us. Fulham are a point behind us, which terrifies me because we're playing Fulham pretty soon as well. Sunderland are only 2 points behind us. Newcastle are now ahead of us. Brentford are ahead of us. Liverpool look like they're back. They played very well against Arsenal last Thursday night. I think that in many ways it couldn't be the worst time for us to be playing like we're playing. I thought we were abysmal yesterday, and I think there's going to be many conversations about the 4-3-3. I prefer the 4-3-3. I think we're going to stick with the 4-3-3 now. I think even if we get new owners, we're going to be a 4-3-3. So I think the formation argument debate is somewhat irrelevant because we will be a 4-3-3 team now. But I think what we've seen in the last 2 games is that it wasn't a reason to sack Amorim. Like, there's no difference between the 3-4-3 or the 4-3-3 or the 4-3-3 that Ten Hag stayed. The problem Man United have got is 3-4-3, 4-3-3, 5-3-2. It doesn't matter if you haven't got the players that are good enough. And the reality is, you could probably get Newcastle to play a 3-4-3 or a 4-3-3 and they'd still be a very good team. You could get Man City to play a 3-4-3 or a 4-3-3 and they'd be a very good team. It doesn't really matter what formation we're playing at the moment because we're not a good team. And as I said in the match reaction yesterday, it was so similar to watching the last days of Ten Hag yesterday. The midfield was just spread open, spread apart, and the defence was... I mean, that second goal is just horrific. The way they play their way through and then Welbeck's one-on-one with Yoro and Yoro's not tight. It's just... That wouldn't happen in a back with 3 centre-backs, but we've changed that now. So we're obviously going to stick with the back 4, but the problem is, the scary thing is, and for the second time in a week, really, we've seen owners that, can be dictated to by general consensus. Jason Wilcox asking Ruben Amorim to change to a back 4 is incredible, but he did it, and Amorim lost his job because of it. And now we've gone to a back 4 and we're worse. So I think that, and they're obviously not going to buy any players either. So I think, look, Michael Carrick's a midfielder. That's a big area. Can he get Mainu or Casemiro to play anything like he did and protect the back 4? Like, first and foremost, somebody just needs to sit in front of the back 4. Like, we don't do that. One person needs to sit in front of the back 4 and not leave it. I saw Mainu leaving it yesterday. I saw Agate leaving it. Somebody just needs to sit in front of the back 4, 10 yards in front of it, and not fucking move. Like, just don't ever go wandering off. Protect that back 4, because as a 2, Martinez and Yoro were shaky yesterday. And I don't think Maguire and De Ligt are going to be any better either. I mean, I presume he probably will go Maguire and De Ligt, Carrick, because he's going to like the experience. But Maguire in a back 4 doesn't have the pace. So I think for the rest of the season, my prediction is, and I want to get some of yours very quickly before we move on. My prediction for the rest of the season is that we're going to land. I think I said it on New Year's Eve or Christmas. I said, I think we're going to finish. In fact, don't bloody go for. Well, actually, do find the clip because I'll say, well, that was before Amorim was sacked. I said we won't finish below 6th before Amorim was sacked, and I don't think we would have done. But now I'm sort of back where I was at the start of the season, saying somewhere between 5th and 10th. Certainly not top 4. Forget that. At times this season, it felt like top 4 was sort of possible. But you had to buy players in January and you had to stick with Amorim until the summer for that to happen. And I'm not saying that Amorim might have finished 10th as well. I'm not saying that. Amorim, it could have got worse. We might have finished 10th. But we absolutely had a better chance of getting into Europe if we'd bought a midfielder in January and stuck with Amorim, in my opinion. We're not buying in January. We're going to bring an interim in. We're going to be, in my opinion, somewhere between 5th and 10th. And if I had to predict, I'm getting the word 8th. I'm thinking 8th. Like Brian said, I'm thinking 8th. I really do think Newcastle, Liverpool, Chelsea are all going to be better than us, which puts us into 7th. But I just think we're going to struggle. I think we're really going to struggle. I mean, if Michael Carrick can get us to win 3 or 4 games in a row, I mean, that guy's not getting a haircut. You know, may as well just, I don't know what you do. Mate, you're not getting a haircut, and I don't think you're getting a haircut next season either. You are just not getting a haircut. You have absolutely massively, well, you're probably doing all right with all the, you know, talent agencies and everything signing you up, to be fair, but I don't think that was your plan at the start. You are never getting a haircut. You're never getting a haircut. We're not going to win 5 games in a row. Because we've got to win 5 Premier League games in a row now, because there's no Carabao Cup or FA Cup either. So, look, I think it's going to be really difficult for Carrick. I think it would be really difficult for the best manager in the world, because he's ultimately got to work with a bit of with players that, and you could almost see, you know, look, some of our players don't deserve any sympathy, of course they don't, but you could almost see it in Bruno's eyes yesterday. It was at the full-time whistle, I was looking at Bruno and I thought, he looks like a guy that's just sort of like, I don't know what to do anymore. I mean, he called out the owners 2 months ago, remember? People forget that Bruno Fernandes called the owners out 2 months ago. Pretty badly, he called them out. Around leaving in the summer. He called the owners out. Bruno called them out. He's now seen a manager he likes get sacked for calling them out. I just don't think Bruno's head's going to be, high five, Wilcox. I really don't. I think he's probably tired of having, you know, all these new projects. And I mean, I just don't, if there's no European football, he's definitely going to go, isn't he? Bruno will always put the effort in. He's not going to down tools. You know, he will keep getting the goals. He will keep getting the assists, and he'll be an important player. But you can see the fatigue. Yeah, I agree with Dylan. You know, he looks very tired of the club, and you can't blame him. You really, really can't.